We've got Vivien Parry. How are you?
I'm absolutely fine. I'm here.
It's lovely to see you. I don't know how you are here, because yesterday you did 2 performances. Today you've got 2 performances. We'll talk about that in a moment. Next we have Lara Mulcahy. How are you?
Yeah, it's close, Lara Mulcahy, but that's okay.
I want to talk to you about that, because you're from down under, aren't you? You see, and that second name, I thought, well, I can either guess it or I can just go Lara, and then just... I thought, well, I'll give it a go. You'll at least respect that.
I don't. You'd think I'd have a good Australian name. It's a bit of an Irish one, though, isn't it?
Oh, good day, anyway.
Yeah, g'day, mate. G'day, mate.
We'll go for a Barbie in a minute. And Kim Ismay, thank you so much for joining me.
That's quite all right.
I need to say something. I've seen this show 10 times with all different casts and talked to most of the stars of each cast, both in Vegas, on Broadway and here. And you 3, I can honestly tell you, are the most formidable performers in this show anywhere in the world. I don't know why your chemistry is so good.
We hate each other with a passion, so much so we socialise outside, and we're all going for a day trip to Paris soon.
Really?
Yeah, we are. Yeah. No, we get on very well. Yeah. We just get on very well, and they're just very... I think they got lucky, didn't they, really? Because we didn't know each other, and we weren't cast together at all. We didn't audition together, and Lara came in from Australia. Kimmy had been in the show a year, and I'd auditioned for it about 5 or 6 times, and the woman who played Donna, my part, just would never leave. So finally they dragged her kicking and screaming into the night, and I auditioned. I auditioned for 4 years on the trot. Right. 4 years on the trot, and every year they said, no, we think you're marvellous with but she's staying another year. And so this last year when I auditioned, they rang me and said, can you audition? And I said no, I can't go through, because it's a very... I wanted to do the show very badly, and the rejection is so enormous as an actor. You put yourself so on the line, and after the 3rd rejection I thought, no, I'm not going to do that again. I'm not putting, because she won't leave, and they'll have to take her out in a box if she goes. So so finally they did say no, she is leaving, and so I came and auditioned, and thankfully I did audition. A camp bed outside the stage door. Yes, I'll audition. Yes.
I suppose the problem with rejection is the fact that when you're told you're very good, that's an even bigger insult than if they said you're rubbish, we don't want you, because at least you'd know where you stood.
Yeah, I mean, Kim will tell you this, but I mean, we've all been in this business a long time, and you're either too tall or not tall enough, or too short or not short enough, or too brunette or not brunette enough, or too fat. Yeah. So it's just swings and roundabouts, and you just have to have the hide of a rhino, really, just to keep going.
You see, you're already telling lies. You're only in your early 20s. How could you possibly have been in charge? You see what I did there?
Now, who's the best actor here out of the 4 of us? I think it must be you. It's funny. We're all great fans of things like the X Factor and all these wonderful things. And in the early stages, when they have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people all auditioning and then sobbing when they're told they can't sing or act or whatever, and saying, "Oh, yeah, they've destroyed my dream." Well, then go and work for it. I mean, all of us have had our dreams destroyed on average about twice a week. You just have to ignore it and carry on. And it's my 21st birthday this year in the business. I'm very excited. Yes, cheers.
Really?
Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Never thought I'd be 21 again. God. So you do have to just... I've been everything. I've been too everything and too wrong. I've been the wrong person, and sometimes I'm the right person. I'm the right person, which is really nice.
Yeah.
So she's lovely. And I've got 2 other right people.
And Kim is staying in the show. We've all been asked to stay another year, which is absolutely fantastic. So we're going to be doing another year. So we'll be in employment until 2006.
March 2006.
It's pretty rare for an actor to be able to say, isn't it?
And that's Kimmy's 3rd year in the show.
My 3rd year in Mamma Mia. Yes, I will be doing 3 years.
Now, I suppose I was just thinking, being put down and made to feel dreadful. I suppose you can either be in show business or have a wife, can't you, really? I suppose after that feeling, I suppose.
Or a husband, in our case. Yes, I'm going for the showbiz option there, not the husband.
You're in a very lucky position as well, because you can have 10-year contracts in theatre, but there aren't many shows that they can guarantee will stay open for any length of time.
Exactly.
I was in the box office picking my tickets up 2 nights ago, and they said, could I have a ticket for tomorrow night? No, really, don't be so stupid. How about the Saturday night? No, don't be ridiculous. How about Saturday night? You are just being silly now. Come back 4 weeks on Thursday and we'll try and get you in. I mean, really, who do you have to sleep with to get a ticket for this show?
I think that's a line from the producers, actually. That's what's spotted. Who'd you have to sleep with to get a role in the show? It is. It's certainly the biggest success that I've ever been involved with, and I'm sure I speak for Vivien and Kim too. Just something that's gone on and on. What is it, 6 years here, isn't it?
Yeah, this is
6 years now in
6
London.
years.
And also, many have tried to follow the idea of the show, which is to take a book of, the best of a certain artist, and most of them have failed, frankly, haven't they? There's only We Will Rock You that really is a success in London. I know on Broadway it makes about $1 million a week. I mean, the producers must just be billionaires by now.
We'll think about that. Yeah.
I hope you're getting relative pay. That's all I'm saying.
We are paid very. We're looked after very, very well, and that's not just me saying that. We all agree. It's not just us saying, "Oh yes, we love it," so that they give us another year or a pay rise or whatever. They do look after us, and it's very refreshing in this business when you've worked for Flumpence and been treated like, I don't know, the tea lady. It's very nice to be appreciated.
I suppose only one thing could have been better than being the 3 stars of the show, which would have been to be the 3 stars on the original CD, because that sold so many copies.
Yes, that would have been very nice. And there is only that one cast recording. They've never done another cast recording, which is absolutely fair enough. And yeah, they've done a German recording, but no, it's the original British cast, and then that's that, isn't it?
Yeah, they're not allowed to do another English language version.
No.
I think
that's just a stipulation from ABBA as well. It would be nice. I mean, irrespective of the money, I just think it would be nice to have. It would be nice to have a record of it. So for our own, so that when we're old and wizened and in some home somewhere, we can say, "Look,
home for retired Dynamo."
Sing once.
Well, according to you 3, it won't be long, really, will it? Now, listen, we're going to play a lot of music from the show during this interview. I want to take Slipping Through My Fingers now, which is such a different song in the show, and it kind of brings a tear to everybody's eye, and it's just such a beautiful song, isn't it?
Yes, and I think the cleverness of the show is that you're going along, you're having a jolly nice time, and you all know all the songs and everything, and you sometimes see people singing along and blah blah blah, and then it all gets terribly, terribly serious, and it's a beautiful, beautiful piece of writing, and I think the most beautiful song to sing as well. I think it's an incredible song, and I think the key to that song is you just mustn't try too hard to do. A very famous director once said to me, don't worry about what you're feeling in the song, make the audience feel. That's your job as an actor. So don't worry about where the song takes you, as long as you make the audience cry or be happy or whatever. And I think with Slipping Through My Fingers, it's an incredibly delicate song, and it touches everybody, mothers and fathers and daughters and brothers and sisters, and it's an extraordinary song, and it's lovely to sing. Actually, it's a really lovely song to sing.
Then we're talking to Vivien, Lara and Kim, the 3 amazing stars of this fantastic phenomena, really. I mean, it has taken the world by storm, and really, where do you go from here? This is the most successful musical in the world. What could you possibly do next?
Very good question. I mean, I've been in the show for a while now, and that's exactly why, because it's one of those shows that's very, very hard to leave, because the roles, there's very few musicals where there's such fantastic roles written for women, and especially women of a certain age. Not that we are of that certain age.
Over 21.
Yes, we draw on special makeup. No, but yeah, it's a hard roles to replace, because you'd want something really, really good to go to match up to these roles in this show.
Can I congratulate you on your performance particularly, because having seen all the different people that play your part, you've so made this your own, and your character, if you don't mind me saying, you're beautiful and big in the kind of way that Dawn French is, in the kind of way that Fern Britton is, that everybody just loves you because you're not scared to be you.
Yeah, well, I've sort of always been this size. Can't see on radio, but for all of my adult life. And I think it's just being comfortable in your own skin, and you can only be the best you. And that is a huge compliment to me to say Dawn French, because she is just my mentor in many ways. And luckily in Australia we get her television shows as well, Vicar of Dibley, and I'm a huge French and Saunders fan. And and a couple of people said, "Oh, you're like an Aussie Dawn French," and I just go, "Oh, thank you, I can die happy girl now." And I just, I love the show, and I think all 3 of us, we adore our roles and adore the show so much that it comes through across to the audience, the passion, the love that we have for what we do.
Oh, that's nice. That's lovely, because as Lara was saying, you have to be the best you can. You can't want to be someone else. I mean, when I was younger, I mean, like Lara was saying, she's always been her size. I've always been very tall. So 20 odd years ago, not all the leading men were very tall. So I was never going to be the young leading girly. I was 5'10", clumping about the stage, and you just have to stick with what you are, not try and be anybody else, and just wait for your turn. And it's our turn now, and I hope our turn lasts now.
for many, many years.
Or I'll have to be killing something. Okay.
A question I have to ask: do producers try and homogenize you when you're being trained and you're growing up, and try and make you like everybody else? Is it hard to be a personality?
No, I don't think it is.
But pigeonholing you.
No, I've fought all my life really against other people's expectations of what I should be, and I'm a very particular type looking person. I'm not I wasn't a Juve because I'm not pretty and I wasn't little. I'm got kind of a big old rubbery face and big old rubbery face.
Radio. Great face for radio.
Everyone's going to come and see Mamma Mia now thinking, my God, what the hell do those three women look like?
It's a freak show. But I was never a Juve lead. I was never a pretty Juve lead, and I just knew that in my 20s and my 30s I just had to graft and just always play the best friend or the funny one or the one in the back or the one the neighbour or the whatever, and that's absolutely fine because actually the parts are sometimes, or the baddie. I was always very good at the baddie.
I love baddies. I do lots of baddies.
But then I was 40 this year, so hitting 40 and getting the hooray, and hitting 40 and doing this show was like, yeah, and like Kimmy and Lara said, just yes, I fit in my skin at last. And I don't know any other show that has the type of part that this is, especially Donna, that allows a woman of that age to do everything that I love, which is I love acting and I love my singing, and I can hoof a bit, I can dance a bit, you know, and it combines all the things that I love that I've kind of waited years to do. And I went away for years and did straight theatre and was trying to be terribly legit and did Lady Macbeth and all that kind of terribly lovely serious stuff. But actually, my best mate, who I've known since I was 8, we grew up together, she came to see the show last Saturday and she went, oh, thank God for that. Thank God at last you're doing, this is you. This is what you should be doing, you know, singing, dancing, acting, all of it together in a great show. And she said, and you've done your serious stuff and we know you can act and you've proved yourself, blah, 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 but actually this is your métier, this is what you should be doing. And I don't know any other part out there. So at the moment, I'm just going to stay here and enjoy this for what it's worth.
And then playwright, and the next person that auditions for it, they're going to be saying, oh, bloody, she's never going to leave her.
I've given myself 2 years in this show. I think actually after 2 years, I think it becomes unhealthy to stay in a show any longer than that because I don't think you serve.
Saying that because I'm staying for the third year.
Apart from you. Donna. No. With the part of Donna, I think any longer than that becomes unhealthy, and you lose the perspective of what the show's about. So
I'm so sorry. We're going to have to do this interview again. The producers just told me you're coming across as unhealthy, old, ugly bags, and this isn't.
Yes. Come and see the show. Prove your ideas wrong.
We're incredibly glamorous women of a certain age.
I'm incredible. I have to pretend to be incredibly glamorous every damn day. I have to come in. I have to have a fake tan. I have to put loads of makeup, false eyelashes, lip gloss. I have to put a wig on, a cleavage enhancer. Oh God!
I need cleavage de-hancer.
Can I borrow some of yours?
We'll talk about that next. Let's take a piece of music that the three of you do so fantastic. Chiquitita.
I lie on the bed in a huddle. It's my favourite part of the show because I'm doing acting. I've been singing, and then I lie down and I cover myself over with a sheet and I hear the most beautiful harmony singing, and they sing it so well, and the audience then get the joke. That's when the audience are kind of think, oh, we're allowed to laugh.
This show does attract a huge fan base, and I would imagine it has quite a high rate of people coming back and again with friends and stag parties and things like that, because it's a fun show, isn't it?
40% of our bookings are repeat bookings, which is an enormous amount.
Wow.
Yeah, that's my use. I'm very good at facts and figures. I'm very good with facts and figures because I did the curtain speech for Mamma Mia Worldwide supports breast cancer awareness, and of course we just had Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so I was handed all these things that I had to say and get into a very short speech that wouldn't lose the audience to have them thinking, oh, get on with it, woman, we'll give you 20p, just shut up. And they had this long list of 20,000 people, and this number of people sit down every night and watch it, and this number of people have seen it, and this. I was like, oh. So I'm your girl for facts and figures.
Will it ever close? Because there's no sign that this show is dwindling at all. At a time when theatre, the big shows are doing very, very well, but other shows are closing in days, let alone weeks.
The day the show will suffer is when they don't get the casting right, and if the casting becomes weak, then they're in trouble. Because it's a lovely book and the songs are beautiful, but you do need people of a certain, not blowing our own trumpet, but you do need people of a certain standard to carry what's quite a light book. And I think that's the only time they'll run into trouble with it. But it's such a universal. The songs have got such universal appeal that as long as they get the casting right, and they do seem to everywhere, then I can't see that it would stop.
Very briefly, we should just mention in the theatre as well, the Prince of Wales was just redone a couple of months ago, and it is a fantastic new facility, and that must be nice for you, because I mean, theatres behind the scenes are often just the most dull and dingy places. To be in a new theatre and look out with new seating and PA system, everything must be nice.
You should see Miss Parry's dressing room. Oh, it's a sight to behold.
Looks like Lawrence Llewellyn-Bowen's had a go. It's marvellous.
I've done years and years of rubbishy jobs, schlepping around the countryside, getting changed in toilets. I've done cruise ships. I've done absolute tosh in my time, and some wonderful stuff as well, but some absolute rubbish in my time. And to sit and I just have to make the most of it. To sit in a dressing room that's got there. I do. I let it on a daily basis, and I've got a bath that works with hot water. I've got my own loo, and it's lovely. I mean, it's absolutely lovely, and I mean, that's not why you do the job, of course not. But I did have some very dear friends who were in a show called The Old Masters come over to see me, two actors called Michael Simpkin and Sally Dexter, and they came over to have a cup of tea, and they walked in, and they're in the theatre opposite, and they just went, "Oh my God, oh my God, look at this dressing room," and I just thought, this dressing room, this is stunning. And then of course you come to the front of house, and it's all been hand painted and beautiful mirrors and new carpets. It's a lovely experience. And also, ladies, if you do come, there are hundreds of toilets.
Yes.
And very comfortable to sit in. The seats are fantastic.
Not the toilets.
Well, not those as well. But for us as performers, it's such an intimate theatre that I just love it for this show, because you can literally see the faces of the people in the back row of the dress circle. And I think that they can pick up then on every nuance that we have facially and vocally, and
so
it works.
You don't have to blast it out like you did at the Prince Edward's, which was a much bigger theatre. You just had to shout, and it was a bigger show. Whereas here it's more like a play, so you don't have to act big so much, you just have to be. So that's how I think why it works so well.
It is one of the great feel-good musicals ever, really, isn't it? And I think that's the reason for this show's success. Also, the fact it was the first. We Will Rock You is another show that you come out just feeling fantastic, and at the end you do a big disco number and get everybody going, and the costumes as well. I mean, just unbelievable. You've got to come and see this show. Finally, though, how do you do those 2 show days? Because there's very little rest for any of you three, particularly when you're singing those quieter numbers where you've got to be perfect.
I don't know, frankly, is the answer to that. Just years of doing it, years of having done it. My voice is like an old leather box, and as in it's a really strong instrument, and I've worked really hard I've trained ever since I was 15 to be able to sing, and I can sing through colds, and I can't sing through coughs, obviously, or no voice, but just training and graft, actually, frankly, and also no matter how tired you are, I sometimes find on a Saturday matinee I'm shattered. Something happens when the show kicks in, and it gives you a lease of life that you didn't even know you had. So that's how I think.
Particularly the Chiquitita Dancing Queen scene, we find that if we feel really down, or if we've got personal problems, which you can't bring to work with you anyway, because the audience don't care. They've paid £49 for a ticket. They don't care whether your cat's died or whether you're depressed or you've had a row with your boyfriend or whatever. And we start the bedroom scene, and we always come off, and we're always in a good mood. We can't not be. We can't not be.
It must also be a real thrill to have a big orchestra, fantastic tracks, great scenery. That feeling, does that ever go away?
No, I don't think you can beat the excitement of just being in something this big, and to hear that sound going out front and coming back to us is just, again, it really gets you going. And the audience really helps keep us motivated and excited as well, because they're fresh every night and they're different every night. So, yeah, it's fantastic.
Viv, Lara and Kim, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. You're the 3 people I wanted to get from this show, because you are the stars of the show. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Alex.
What song can we play at the end that is your favourite from this show? Because you must be really sick of hearing Dancing Queen. I mean, it must get on your nerves, because that's the one everybody loves, isn't it, really?
I love Dancing Queen. That's
I love Dancing Queen in the bedroom. When we do it in the bedroom, I absolutely adore that one. And I have to say, my particular favourite is Super Trooper, when we do that one as well. I love singing that together with the girls, because it's a beautiful song, and it's a very delicate song, but it's also incredibly funny.
So what do we do then? I mean, we have a problem. We've only got one song now.
Dancing